Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So I'm teaching myself microcontrollers and I'm doing that using my new company's microcontroller kit, which is called EBlocks. They got this nice fancy kit with all these, oh dear, little modules. I thought I broke it there, but yeah. A bunch of little modules that they've got that plug in to the microcontroller, which is a PIC 16 something microcontroller. I forgot. Is it here? PIC 16F18877. That one there. So I'm learning microcontrollers and I'm doing it by going through my company's curriculum, which is 101 pages. It's called, up at the top here, Introduction to Microcontroller Programming, suitable for BTech. So this is a college level curriculum. Yeah. So I'm on page 60. In the last video, I believe, what did we do? We did a counting stopwatch. That was a few videos ago. Oh, that was the last video, a stopwatch, which it wasn't really a stopwatch, to be fair. I do feel like with this stopwatch example, we could have actually like used the actual push buttons to stop and start the timer and stuff like that. So I guess maybe what these things are missing is, you know, once you've taught the lesson and showed them how to do the code, give them 3 or 4 tasks to do as well. But yeah, all right, so let's crack on. And this lesson, which is exciting, using binary numbers, a binary adder. So the simplest way to input a binary number is to use a set of switches attached to the input port. All right. To input 2 numbers, we need 2 sets of switches. To see the result of the calculation, we will use an LED array connected to the output port. All right. So I guess we are going to simulate and then write to these LEDs. But my LEDs are bugging out right now, anyways. I don't know what's up with them. So this is, we need a PIC chip with 3 ports. Okay. Setting up the flowchart. So this is what I wanted in the last video. In the last video, I wanted setting up the flowchart, launch Flowcode, and start a new flowchart. This time, we take notice of the dialog box. We need a PIC that with at least 3 ports. So click and drag loop, click and drag input. So I'm just going to make that. So let's just do that. I'll even do this. Is this going to work? I don't know. We'll get rid of the component macros. We don't need those. We don't need the delay. All right. Does that? Yep. So what was it I wanted? Input, and then calculate and output. So we want 2 inputs, calculate, is it calculate? Calculation and output. What's interesting is he's actually saying to use the ports. So I'm confused there because I don't have hardware to plug in. I mean, I do obviously have this, but yeah, I'm confused by that because it's got port B and port C in the code. So there, port B and port C, but I'm not even plugged into port B and C. So, and then the output to port D. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, these ports, port A, B, C, D, and E. I don't see why I'd be taking an input. That would require me to be plugged in here like this to get these push button arrays into that port and these into that. So it hasn't told me how to set my hardware up. So yeah, who knows? All right, we'll just follow it, but it seems a bit nonsensical at the moment, which is fine. So port B, all right, and then it's not going to allow me to do that, obviously. Oh, okay, writing it to input 1. All right, yeah, that's fine. So port B to a new variable that we're going to call input 1. So that one's sum. New variable input 1. Initial value of 0, an integer. Oh, is it an integer or a byte? Yeah, okay, let's just do integer. And then we'll do input 2. Initial value of 0, integer, done. All right, cool. So that is input 1. And then this one on C is input 2. And then on the calculation, we are saying that the sum is equal to input 1 plus input 2. And we're writing that sum to the output, which apparently is going on port D. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but that matches that. So let's see. Creating the variables. Click view. It's telling me to create some variables. Okay. He says leave it as byte. So which made sense to me. Yeah. So let's edit my variables, which I can get to over here, and make them a byte. All right, so I've made all three of them a byte now. So here it mentions setting up the inputs. Right click on the top input icon, select properties, blah de blahs, blah de blahs. Type input the first number to replace it. I don't like the display name, so I'm not going to do that. It says adding labels like this helps users to understand what is happening. But yeah. Click on the arrows next to the variables, blah blah blah, variable manager. Double click on input 1. Back in the input properties, click on the down arrow and select port B to replace port A. Blah blahs, blah blahs. And close. Alright, cool. Set the calculation. I don't think any of this was necessary because we've done all of this in previous lessons. There's no need to walk you through all of this again. Double click on the output icon. So is this the same? Set port D. Click on the outputs tab and select LED array. So now I'm making a simulation. Okay, so maybe we're not intending to actually use real hardware, and we're not intending to use the actual real hardware, and everything's just going to be software or simulation, which is fine. That's fair enough. So I guess these random ports don't matter. So I need to bring up my 2D array. So view 2D panel, get rid of this LCD, and then I need component libraries, inputs, no outputs. And I'd rather search LED array, LED array, LED. Where is it? LED array template, LED array. This is confusing. This is not nice to look through. LED matrix. I've got LED. I've got LEDs. Template array. But that's 3D. LED array 2D. There we go. So I guess the thing is, can I make that a favorite? I can. Nice. That's what I want. Yeah, exactly. Favorited components. Nice. Okay, so that's good. So I've got an LED array. Click count on the simulation on the properties and change the number of LEDs to 7. Okay, so for some reason we want only 7 LEDs. So we've got 7 LEDs, and I've got to attach them, I guess, to port B or port D, sorry, because that's what I've done in the code. Yep. Change the color of the LED array to red. Red. All right. Change the color of the LED array to red by changing the LED 0 property while the same color property is set to yes. LED 0 property. LED 0 property. Well, I don't see that. Let's go properties. Nope, don't see that. What's he referring to here? Change the color of the LED array to red by changing the LED 0 property while the same color property is set to yes. No idea. I don't have those options. All right, moving on. So, yeah, I mean, at some point, I'm going to need to review all this sort of stuff and just figure all this out. So 2 sets of switches are used. Add in the switches. All right, so yeah, we're going full simulation mode. Okay. The output port has only 8 bits. The biggest number it can output is 1111255 in decimal. We're going to limit ourselves to inputting 7-bit numbers, meaning that the biggest number we can input is 127 in decimal. If we use bigger numbers, we would overflow the capacity on the output. Okay, that's fine. Click on the inputs tag, switch array, blah blahs. Yep, blah blahs. Set them up. All right, cool. So we want inputs now. So we are going to go to component libraries, input, switch array, which is already nicely there. I'm going to give myself a count of 7 of them. Make that bigger. And then let's duplicate that. And then we want to set these ports. So what do we want? Port B and port C. That's already port B. This one needs to be port C. And then we're gaming. So I think, if I hasn't told me yet, but I think just running this should just work. So it did say slow the simulation down, but all right, if I turn that one on and that one on, we get 1. That's 1. That's 2. Is it 1? Oh, this is 6. This is 6. Yep. Okay. This is no. Okay. Wait. Hang on. Can we go a bit more fancy here and give myself some labels? Like, yeah. All right. Stop the simulation. Let's debug. Stop the simulation, and then I want a label. So if I go to components, I just write text now. Components, inputs, displays. I don't even know. Where would a label be? Let's just search. Text. Label. There we go. So did that work? Can't drag it. Oh, it's a 3D label. Under 2D shapes is 3D label. Okay, so text 2D. There we go. So, what can I set? No, I can't set values there. So this is ones. I can't double click this and write a. That's, yeah. Should be able to double click that. Anyways, all right. One, two. So what I liked with like Siemens, when I copy and paste this now, if I move it and then paste again, it would paste it again at an equal distance straight over there. So that made like building UIs pretty simple. And then if I wanted to just straighten this all up now, then I press Control, and then is there an align feature? Please let there be. There's a group feature. Is there a way to align? Now, what I would like, what Microsoft have, is, you know how you can search the whole software you're in, like a global search to find a feature. So I want to search to find the word align. Maybe I right click it, align, chart, align. Way, we're getting there. Align center, but is that horizontal or vertical? Don't know. Align center, and then you got, so I guess this is horizontal, this is vertical, because then you got align center and align middle. So I want vertical, so align middle. Hey, look at that, it worked. I was a bit weird naming convention, but that works. So I got one, and I can't type here. So, all right, run this again. So what do we have? Why? I don't know why these are left on. So that, can someone explain that to me? I've just started the simulation again. Why are these LEDs on? These switches are all off. There's no reason for them to be on. So again, this LED is just left on. So is my outputs? Yeah, I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. This is stuck on now. What the hell? I have no idea. All right, so maybe we're not clearing or something. So can I just, at the beginning of each loop, can I set sum to 0? Beginning of each loop, sum is equal to 0. Run that again. My panel, bring my 2D panel. Still not working. Slow it down. I don't know what's going on here. All right, if I turn them all on, what do we get? Yeah. Beats me. So no change there when yeah. All right, let's carry on with the lesson, but I don't know why. I'm struggling with all of these, you know. All right, anyway, so as described earlier, Flowcode allows you to progress through flowchart one step at a time to see the effect of each one on the each on the variables. To see the effect of each on the variables and on the output. All right. Don't know if that makes sense. There are 3 ways to simulate the program step by step. Click on Go on the debug toolbar, and on the step into button, debug step into, press the F8 function on the keyboard. Click on the step into button on the main toolbar in the simulation section. Do one of these. All right. So if I press F8, F8 is stepping through. That's cool. I like that. That's a nice feature. So I can bring up my 2D panel, turn these all off to be able to then step through my program. F8. The sum should be equal to 0 at this point. Then now it should, okay, it's calculating it. So, okay, they're all off. That's good. So they're all off. So put 1 on. Yep. So 1 plus 1, 1 is equal, 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2 now. Yep. And that, will that stay 2? That stays 2. So I'm just pressing F8, looping through. So now 3 plus 1 is 4. Yay. All right. So what about now, where we have 7 plus 1 is 8? Oh, are we working now? So what do we have here now? We have 7 plus 5, 12. Oh, look at that. It's working. So what do we have here now? We have 4, 6, 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. Yep. Okay, so that's working. So, all right, riddle me this then. Why did that work, but then running... So I'm stepping through it. But if I run it... Seem to, like, not do anything. Okay. So it's working now. I'm dubious of that, but okay. Everything's happening. A red rectangle appears on the begin icon showing the current step. The simulation debugger window appears containing variables and macro codes. The variables section and list the 3 variables that you define for this program and show their current values. I haven't seen that. Where's that? So if I run it again, where's the variables section? Ah, look at that over here on the left. I didn't even notice that. That's cool. So you got 6 plus 14 is 20. But why? Ah, no, wait. Okay, so wait. So I guess this is interesting. My inputs, even though I've turned them off, I didn't turn them off, did I? They're still live. So if I press 1 here now, this stuff is still on or something. So do I have to actually like set every variable to 0 when I start? So if I do calculation here, and can I do multiple calculations? Can I do input 1 is equal to 0? Input 2 is equal to 0. Can I do that? 2D, bring up my 2D panel. That's still not working. So it still thinks. Let's start again. Debug, stop. Step into F8. And then F8 again. So we're at 0. Then where does it... So it keeps going. And it's read my input there now as 7. On what planet is my input 7? So just there now, it's taken my input as 7. And I don't know why. So, okay. F8. 7 plus 14 is 21. LEDs turn on. Now it's taking my input as 127. So once I turn them all off, I should be at 0. Yep, I've gone to 0. Okay, so then now stop it, run it again. I'm now back at 0. Okay. So if I turn that on now, I'm at 46 on input 2. If I stop the simulation, is this a bug? And then now, okay. If I step in, the simulation has cleared that by itself. But if I run it, I bet I'm gonna get 48. 46. That's a bug, that's a bug. That doesn't make sense. You're gonna have to tell me that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. My switches are off. If this was a real hardware device, my switch would be off. Okay, so I don't know why they've not asked us to use this real hardware, but I'm gonna be a pain in the backside and try to use this real hardware. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my inputs. Yeah, I don't have LEDs. I know why they've told me not to, because I've only got these push buttons here. But, well, what are these push buttons? How are these push buttons organized? So it says there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So can I use these as my first set of inputs? And then my second set of inputs can be B. And then my outputs can be C. So let's go back to my code. If I do port A, and then port B, port C, I believe this should work. Let's download that and see how we get on. The thing is that the intent here for me is not to finish the curriculum. I don't care, you know, I haven't been asked by my boss to finish the curriculum. The intent for me is to learn. And so if there's something going wrong here and I'm not understanding it, and it's not a bug, and actually that's how microcontrollers work, I need to understand it. So this is currently, oh, that's downloaded now, I believe. So are we all clear right now? Looks like we are. I've got no outputs on. I'm pressing them, nothing's turning on. Cool. Press one of these. All right. So, okay, that makes sense, right? So I'm pressing one here, and the LED, okay, ignore the 7-segment display because I think that's linked to this switch here. So if I turn that off, this should turn off. Yeah, okay. You can see that LED is turning on. I'm pressing this, that LED I'm pressing these two. So now what do I have? I have I have 3 in binary in my input here. You can see there. I have 3 in binary, and that produces 3. So if I press, okay, let's just test that this one works. If I press 1, no, that's not working. 2, 3. So these input switches are not working. Why? Now, I picked this up from one of my colleagues' drawers, and his desk is full of broken components that he's fixing. I can't see what can go wrong with this. This can't be broken, surely. I mean, it looks good. I can't see. That's all good. So, okay, well, let's test the software. So, if I just plug this in to get these inputs. I can't see the outputs though, but yeah, I have no idea. So what I would like, which again, maybe one of my colleagues is gonna have to tell me if this is true, but I should be able to press buttons on here and see stuff on Flowcode over here turning on and off. Like I want, instead of a 2D display that is simulation, I want a live 2D display. I want my own web app. So I guess I should be able to make my own web app, but I want, and when I press that, I see these lights turning on now. So yeah, that's what would have been cool with this sort of this course. That would have been really good. So yeah, I'm a bit stumped here. I don't know. I think that simulation's bugged, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, I can't test it with the hardware I have because I guess I don't know why really. I don't know why none of these register an input, but obviously these ones do. Beats me. I guess there's no way I can test it. Okay, so 8 shouldn't do anything, right? No, it will do, yeah, because on the simulation we declared 7, but on the actual software we still obviously are just writing the whole input there. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on, but that seems buggy to me. All right, so yeah, we just found out that we can see the variables. So the variable section lists the 3 variables you find. Blah, blah. Ignore the macro call section for the moment. Oh, there's a debugger actually on this. I think this port which I'm plugged into, and then that ghost chip there's a debugger. So I should be able to get what I wanted actually. So if I go to debug, enable ghost in circuit debug mode. All right, let's click that. Ooh, run. Anything happen? The chip does not contain the latest ICD build. You need to compile to chip before continuing. All right, we'll do that. So how do we do that? Do we just build, compile, target? Is that the same as compile to chip? I just saw compile into ICD mode. All right. So what I'm hoping here, if we go back to Matrix's website and you go to EBlocks, down here you can see there's this ghost technology. Ghost technology. In Flowcode 7.3 onwards, Auto ID allows you to see the EBlocks2 boards connected in the console window in circuit debugging mode. It allows users to set or clear breakpoints and debug systems while simulation is live. So let's see if that is true. And you know, it might be true, but again, I might just not know what I'm doing as well. So there's a good chance of that. So I've compiled there. Yeah. Debug. Run. Are we running? Oh, IC is using pins B6 and B7 as clock and data pins, but your project also uses them. You can continue, but this may cause ICD to fail. Would you like to continue? Okay, so that's like this. There's a switch here. For some reason, I think there's some sort of circuit hardware deficiency going on. Oh, it's not that switch. It's this switch. So let's continue because it did say it can kind of continue with with it. So let's just see. I just won't press pins 8 and 7 and 8 maybe. Would you like to continue? Okay, I'll continue. All right, it looks like we are running in simulation apparently. So can I press stuff? Run? I think we're already running. I don't know. Step into? So I'm pressing buttons there. Nothing's happening. So that's interesting that it's basically taking control of the hardware maybe. So those are lighting up, but I think that's the hardware lighting up, not software. So I'm pressing that. None of these are turning on. Okay. And I'm not seeing on my variables here, I'm not seeing that they're all just question marks. So do I have to run it? Run? Yeah, I've ventured too far off the path here. This happens to me a lot when I'm driving as well. I'm like, yeah, I know Waze wants me to go that way. I'm gonna go this way though. And then I drive, and then the road gets narrower and narrower, and then they get steeper and steeper, and then you just kind of feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. So then you're like, yeah, I've gone a bit too far. Let's turn around. And I think this is a period where I'm gonna have to turn around because I don't even know where I'm at now. Step over. Run. Again, it said that ICD or whatever that is might fail because of that. So if I change this switch, which I need like tweezers. All right, let's press this switch if we can. Bit dodgy here. I'm using metal tweezers. I'm gonna short something else out. Nope, that didn't work. Ah, we've got some perspex glass on it, and it's a bit okay. There we go. All right, I'll press that switch now. So I believe what that switch does, the diagram here. This switch, A6 and A7, so that's port A and B there. This switch allows you to either use port A6 and A7 or pins A6 and A7, or for you to use an external oscillator, crystal oscillator. I think that's what that's for. So if my pins don't work in future, it's because I bloody pressed that switch. So let's try. I'm going to try stopping this simulation now. I'm going to try one more time. So I've stopped it. If I run now, need to compile. Bloody hell. We'll run it again. All right, so that's compiled. I'll run it. The whole reason I want to go through this process is I want to know is when I'm pressing these buttons up here, is it getting the input? It's still not letting me do it. It says I need to compile to chip. All right, we give up. Abort mission now. So forget about this ghost stuff. We'll leave that alone. Let's go back to our curriculum and just finish off this lesson. I feel like we've kind of gotten the point, right? We could see that the adding, we can see the logic behind the adding. It seems like there's a bit of issues with simulation. I can't test it on real hardware, so kind of stuck here. So it's going through basically adding. We're reading from the most significant bit, D7 to the least significant bit. The LED array shows a number, in decimal. This is number 26. No surprises there. Repeat the same procedure. Use different numbers. Step for the program. Check what the sum of the numbers is. Tip: explore adding graphics to your binary calculator to make it easier to read. That's funny, actually. That that is funny that I did that straight away because I was like, I can't read this. And then they've actually said, yeah, do that. And yeah, there should be way more of this. Like there should be loads of that. We need loads of that in every lesson. All right, that's the end of it for me. It's a shame really that you've paid good money. You know, you've paid, I don't know, 300 quid, 300 quid, 400 quid, something like that for this hardware. And then the whole lesson is simulation. And you know, even if it was that they were to say in this particular worksheet, if they were to say, look, you need this attachment board, even though mine didn't work for whatever reason, you need this attachment board to carry out the full hardware test. But if you don't have it and you only have this and the combo board, not to worry, because you can stick it in ghost mode or whatever mode, and you can do half simulation, half combo, half hardware. So you could actually just have this whole top array of inputs as your second input, and then you can simulate this top bit, or if you have the real thing, plug it in. But there was just no option for that. It was just the whole thing was simulation, which, yeah, I mean, I still get to learn the concept, right? But I want to use the hardware. Cool. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Next one is going to be binary logic in control. So it looks like I'm going to build a microwave. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I shall see you in that one. Let's build a microwave next time. Bye bye.